Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Hot Sauce Sports. You may be watching or listening to us. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.
I was like,
I
what
figure
the
you
fuck?
can't do it yourself.
Yeah, I guess. I did the intro a little different today because we have a different kind of guest on. We're joined later on the show by Mike Familant. He is the producer and lead investigator of In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, Sussex County. Terry, he hunts Bigfoot.
So I found this guy. I found Mike.
You mean you will find when we speak to him in the future? We didn't already speak to him.
Well, he found them in the past.
I found him in the past. Yeah, I found him.
Okay, yes,
Yeah,
you found him in the past.
Me and Alex are in Alex the intern. We're in this like a few Facebook groups where it's like you look for podcast guests and things like that. So he's he had posted like, hey, I'm willing to come on and talk about my thing. So I read his little story about how Bigfoot threw a rock at him. Well, so he got a rock thrown at him while he was camping, and the rock was like a pretty big size, and it came from a decent distance. So I was like, fuck, you know what, this guy might be interesting to have on. So I messaged him, and he was down, and he seems like a perfectly nice guy. I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, we'll hear from him later.
Yeah, I looking forward to the interview. I honestly, we do sports stuff, and we have something for the heavy sports fans, and a bit of a surprise guest appearance on the show later today when we do rapid fire. But so it's always cool to talk to people from a different walk of life because you know what? That's how we learn some interesting things. One of the interesting things, Terry, that I've come across is the Big Ten's return to NCAA football.
Sports.
Yeah, I'm the most I already have my conflictions about NCAA football and NCAA sports in general. But so I was thinking about this right now, given that they're not employees of the university, they are students, they're athletes, amateurism, and so on and so forth. Are these players being insured for the increased risks, or are they just trying them out there saying, hey, if you get sick and die from this, or if you get sick and have long-term consequences from this,
that's a risk you take working for your education.
Yeah, I think that
it's so dirty.
Yep.
It's so dirty.
I think they're just easily at risk at home than they are.
There was
Yeah, but the difference is that when they're at home, you're not profiting off them.
Well, that's another thing is that
But that's what I'm saying. 'Cause
regardless of the
I'm
situation,
looking at this strictly from the compensation angle. It's
Okay.
There's never been an opportunity to look at this.
But
and say,
the players knowing they're not being compensated are the ones that want to play because they know that they won't be as compensated if they're not putting themselves out there. They're not adding.
But
to
they
their
don't have
film.
a choice, right? So the only choice you have to make money off this, the thing you're most passionate about, is to go play for free in college and university.
So imagine a guy like Joe Burrow. I don't know. I remember who the player that said it, but it was a good point. Joe Burrow would never have been a first overall pick if he was drafted a year before.
And he would have been saved from playing with the Bengals.
Exactly.
He would only need to go to Cincinnati occasionally.
Yeah, but then you go to the Jets.
Yeah, you never know. So he took advantage. That 1 year was big for him. So a lot of these guys take advantage of their senior years, their last year. It's the year that they're going to be able to start all games and things like that.
I absolutely understand it. Again,
so for that, they
for
have to do it. But I understand what you're saying. The NCAA, it's always sketchy. Always sketchy.
But especially from the let's say the 2% that will get drafted. Great. You know what? That's your chance to showcase your talents. But that's not the reality for the bulk of these players. The bulk of these players won't see remuneration in their lifetime for what they've done for the school, and that's the unfortunate part.
In a show of anti-hypocrisy for once, Georgia, your famous Bulldogs, were going to allow for football to play, but not actual on-campus voting. A few hours ago before recording this, they actually changed their minds, so now you're going to be allowed to vote on campus. Actually, a decent decision? Question mark.
You should be able to vote on campus. Why not?
Well, I mean, I won't get into why certain states want to restrict voting and why certain states are okay with everyone voting.
Both sides.
Yeah, but specifically when a state is specifically,
It's okay to play football, but it's not okay to vote.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's okay to play football for free, and it's not okay to vote. Look, I mean, obviously,
people should be able to vote online.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
You can do your banking
Okay, Terry.
online. You can vote online.
Imagine having IT. Hi, I can't vote.
Who are you trying to vote for?
vote for me.
Who are you trying to vote for? Pelosi. It doesn't work.
How many calls did you get from me on voting day?
Oh my God! You just asked me to vote for you, and I tell you I can't do it, and then you'd ask me to drive over
I would
so I can do it for you.
absolutely insist that you commit voter fraud for me.
I'm just gonna need your social insurance number, credit card
exactly.
number, your your mom's maiden name. Just the usual
A
information.
list of your fears.
Well, I'm glad we've covered things like voting that are not in the news, because now, Terry, it's time for the news. Terry, it's the news.
Is it really?
Yeah, I almost lost my voice on that one.
I'm looking here. You don't have anything golf.
I don't. Well, I have one thing golf and rapid fire. We'll get to it.
Oh, okay, because it's the U.S. Open.
It is the U.S. Open.
I started watching today.
Yeah, we do shows on a weird day. We do shows typically like when news starts to happen in the week. Like it's the beginning of the news cycle, right? We do shows on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Wednesday is the known like sports dead day. Thursday is when news starts to come out, but last week's news starts to die. I was actually watching the qualifying round today as I was putting the script together, but there just wasn't a lot of huge storylines, except for one, which we'll get to later. For now, though, we'll start with the NFL and your beloved Cowboys. Terry.
Yay.
I was very disappointed on your behalf when they hired
Thanks, appreciate it.
when they hired Mike McCarthy as head coach, and
I was
validated in 1 week of football, double validated by Eagle because he saw Aaron Rodgers score basically 1 billion points. Eagle being a Packers fan, of course.
The only reason why Dallas was close to winning this one is because Zeke was winning his one-on-ones. That's it.
It's very true. No, but the problem is okay, yeah. So he talks about his ISO and whatever, the way he calls his plays, all that bullshit. But to me, it's the fourth down at the 15, and you're going for it. When you can kick a field
down
goal
by 3.
with
10 minutes left.
With 10 minutes left, you want to trust your defense. It's fine. Trust your defense with a tie, not with a fucking.
I've never understood that, by the way, because like if you kick a field goal, you still need to trust your defense,
and
right?
you have like one of the most explosive offenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just do something.
But I can understand, like, you're down by 2-3 scores in, like, the second quarter or something. Like, you need to do something to get your team fired up, right?
I get
you go
that.
for it, you get back in the game, you change
Or
momentum.
it's 4th and 1.
But you're potentially
Understand.
getting the ball back twice with 10 minutes left. Just tie the game up, get a stop, kick another field goal, score a touchdown, whatever. Going down and score a touchdown. But he didn't even give himself a chance to win. And I think that was just a really bad call. But you know what? It's the first game of the season. So
admittedly, the Rams made a great defensive play on the in.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, great call in that sense. But
the play
the
call
Rams
was
play. The Rams play.
You get a situation where you overload an area and you basically try and find the open guy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the proper way to run.
The Rams played really well. The Rams played really well.
From that side, they sent 2 vertical routes and then a single crossing route. So everyone,
the linebacker, you pick up the guy and then that's it. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. It's the thing we always talk about with Mike McCarthy is, unless everyone beats their guy, nobody's actually
gonna be
open.
Yeah.
And it's like, Eagle, you watched this for how many years in Green Bay?
Way too
But
many.
he
Not
has
to mention
three-
a Don Capers defense, which didn't help either. Because you don't trust your defense and your offense isn't scoring.
He has 3 receivers that could create separation that are very good. I mean, Gallup, CD, and Amari Cooper. So he has those options to play that style of offense. But it's also the first week, so things are going to happen. They didn't get any preseason games. The entire league was a little off. I feel everybody's talking about.
You say that. You say the entire league was off. But the first game of the week, if that's the Chiefs being off, they're going to score 50 points a week.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to be unbelievable.
It's out of this world.
Unbelievable how good
Like,
they are.
it just, everything looked good. And, Clyde Edwards-Helaire in his first game looks awesome. And he didn't even do the Andy Reid thing where he throws a bunch of passes, uses him, puts him on the outside. I don't think he had a pass target in this game.
That's crazy.
And that's going to be just next level. The one thing I will say is this is the first game, Terry, I saw that there was sort of a sparse grouping of fans. And, like, I'm used to watching that because I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. So I'm used to seeing.
One of them got COVID.
What?
One of them got COVID.
Really?
At the Chiefs-Texans game.
So-
Somebody got COVID.
I mean, is it
That's
necessary?
crazy.
Was it someone who booed by any chance?
Probably. It was an employee.
The employee
Well,
booed?
obviously, like the employees are the ones who are at most risk because they see the most people.
Employee of the stadium. Yeah, he was the employee. That's what I'm saying. So it wasn't an employee. It wasn't a staff for the team. It was a staff for the arena, for the stadium. Okay, for Arrowhead or wherever they played.
But
Did they play Reliant or Arrowhead?
I don't know. But is it that worth it to have just the sprinkle of fans in.
No,
I was,
it's not.
I don't
know.
even. I
Like
watching,
we saw Kroenke like just like sitting there with his mask on at the Cowboys game. Nobody in his new $1 billion stadium.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That stadium is unbelievable.
Yeah, beautiful.
SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Holy fuck, that place is
Beautiful.
nice.
Yeah.
That puts the Cowboy Stadium in its pocket. It's rivaled with the Vegas Raiders Stadium.
I
Like,
now have a
that is
single reason to
unbelievable.
go to LA.
Yeah.
Is to go see that.
Oh,
Stadium.
I'm still not going back to LA. That place is a shit show.
It is. It's garbage.
Everybody's leaving.
But it's probably gonna be a layover from Las Vegas.
I'm gonna go when everybody leaves.
That's not bad.
Yeah, because it
That's
seems
not
like people are leaving now. So
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
your mic's not on.
Or burns down.
It's close
The thing is, I was watching it, and
because
one
of
thing,
gender reveal parties.
one thing I saw during.
Don't do gender reveal
Yeah.
parties.
Okay. So here's the other thing.
It's a catastrophe.
Even-
Don't do gender reveal parties.
Even if they
it's
don't-
stupid. You're not going to be more excited if it's a boy than it is if it's a girl. It
E-
doesn't fucking make sense.
Even if
Don't
it doesn't
fucking do
cause a
gender reveal
forest fire,
Exactly.
it's
don't
just
do it.
dumb. You're just lame.
Yeah,
if you
very
don't
creative people. Some people are creative. What they do, whatever. Don't do it. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. You're just asking people to get together in your backyard for no fucking
What if
reason.
the kid's like Unix or something? Is it like gray when you pop it open, like the smoke?
What if they mix the
You're
colors
like
poorly?
neither boy nor girl.
Why are you assuming the kid's gender?
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What if it's like purple? Oh, what if they identify as an attack helicopter?
Yeah. I mean, what if they identify as like a
My kid's gonna be named Apache.
a war drone?
I say the best gender reveal party is you break into all your friends and family's homes on different nights
Yeah.
and whisper in their ear while they're sleeping. It's a boy. That's the best guy.
The worst. It's a waste of time.
Or
gender
you can
reveals.
watch. So half people bet on a girl, half people bet on
Oh,
a boy,
but
and
that's
you
a good
keep
point.
half and you give the other half to the winner.
Actually, Terry, if we can turn this into a gambling segment of the
Oh,
show,
yeah, I'm down.
we should bring back gender reveal parties.
I'm done.
But I was gonna say, I actually in stadiums that were empty didn't really miss the fans and haven't missed the fans.
The
in
fans
most games I'm
don't do
watching.
anything.
Well,
for
the road teams have it way easier.
No, the
But
fans don't do
all
anything.
you're watching is better execution.
The
You're
fans,
watching better
the fans
sports.
don't do anything for us. Yeah, it's fun to hear them go nuts if a big play happens, whatever. Like in hockey, like at the Bell Center, if you're watching a
Oh, yeah,
game
yeah,
alive
yeah.
and they score a goal, you hear it. In New York, too, the same thing. In football games, you don't really hear it that much. You don't really hear the fans.
Well, basketball,
Even in Seattle, who they say they're
basketball's the one
super
where
loud. They're
basketball's the one where you have the greatest impact because they're on the court.
on
right?
the court, yeah.
But what I've noticed in basketball, especially, is you're actually watching the best version of basketball. You're watching the sickest shots. How many times you're watching a game, Terry, and like it's like that second overtime game with Boston and Toronto?
Yeah.
There were so many shots where like, oh my God, that's a dagger. Oh no, that's the dagger. Oh no, that's the dagger. And it's because you can't execute this way when you can't, especially through the clear backboards and you see people freaking up behind the clear backboards.
Or you
Being in
have
an empty
Drake
stadium.
chirping you in the sidelines.
Constantly.
Fuck that guy.
Also, can we just turn this into a Drake band? Period.
Yeah, they're just like ban musicians and movie stars from sitting courtside.
Yeah.
Spike Lee's not going to be happy.
Neither is Jack Nicholson.
Well, Jack Nicholson was never courtside though. To
No?
his credit, he's always sitting a few rows back.
Yeah,
really?
I think he's right.
I feel like I feel like he's
He's
right
been
next to the.
courtside, but I don't think he has.
I feel like he's
courtside.
right next. Yeah, he's right. He's right next to the visitors bench, but he's also he's right next to the media.
So he has had courtsides, but his
the
typical
play-by-play
seats,
guy.
his own seats, are, I think I want to say like 3 rows back.
Oh, really? Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. But there's a lot of celebrities you see in that section. That's like the celebrity section. You always see the Kardashians at Staples Center and shit like that.
Beyonce. Not Staple. Oh yeah.
Staples Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made 3 observations about the Giants game Monday night. One was,
They're bad.
well, they're giant. If I got to hear not Colin Coward, who's the dude who does the Collinsworth?
Collinsworth.
If I get to hear Collinsworth talk about how Jones is going to be more careful with the ball one more time,
Chris
he must have
Collinsworth-
said it 40 times in a single game.
He
did
didn't do
call the game,
No,
absolutely.
he didn't. Yeah.
So who called it?
He did Sunday nighter. He did the Cowboys game. And Chris Collinsworth, I mean, I'm a Cowboys
So
fan.
who called the game?
He
Eagles. Who
spit
called the game?
shines.
Who called the
Dak
Giants game?
Prescott.
Find out for me, please.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Okay, that makes more sense. Then.
Yeah,
The other C's.
Because the only analysis
Or
he
K's, I don't
had for the Giants offense the entire game was, well, they've been working with Danny Dimes. He's going to turn the ball less this season. And then he ends a 9-minute drive by throwing a interception. Okay, it wasn't his fault. He got hit. But by throwing an interception on first down where he
But
could just ate it.
He
Eat
took the
sack.
ball away from the other team's offense for 9 minutes, though. So he played good defense.
I guess. So maybe he's a
Daniel
defensive
Jones,
player.
better defensive
was
player
just-
than he is a quarterback.
Correct. He was just drafted wrong.
Exactly.
And you know what?
He should have been drafted as an athlete
He'll be better than those than the Giants corners.
in his Dockers and his baby blue dress shirt, oversized dress shirt.
Adam
Prep school.
Gase, Le'Veon Bell, all of this. As a Dolphins fan, it makes me so happy. I'm not only so happy that the Jets suck again, that Le'Veon Bell clearly doesn't want to be there,
Yeah.
but also that Adam Gase is also chasing away anyone with talent, just like he did to Miami. He turned the Dolphins into a team of all character guys, of all guys who could simply not play football. And that's what the Jets are right now.
Adam Gase is like it's like the bad ketchup. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you get like ketchup, it's not Heinz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it tastes funny. Like when you go to Cuba, they don't have like the real ketchup. They have like catsup. That's what Adam Gase is for coaching. He's like okay, he might be able to like string a few wins, and you know he might be able to use him here and there, but at the end of the day, he just shouldn't exist as a human.
Eagle, have you ever had catsup?
I have not. That sounds terrible. I don't like ketchup to begin with. So I don't think
I
I
also
like
don't like
fake
ketchup to begin with.
ketchup.
And why would you want ketchup when you got Mike's BBQ rub and Chetty's hot sauce? Did we do the ad?
No,
Well-
we will.
The Mike's one is recorded, the Chetty's one is not.
Okay, so chettyshotsauce.ca. Visit chettyshotsauce.ca and use hot sauce 25 for your promo code for 25% off the entire website. You can get there. Carolina Reaper. This is the original. This is the garlic, and this is the pineapple thing. Yeah, pineapple. They also got
I got mine at
mango.
home.
Yeah, mango lime is fucking good. The garlic is sick. It's good, man. So hot sauce 25 for 25% off. On
If
the
you're
entire
wondering,
website.
why the NFL put the Tennessee Titans at 10 o'clock at night and you want to burn out your eyes so
Yeah.
you don't need to watch them ever again,
Yeah.
use Chetty's hot sauce. The
Exactly.
Carolina Reaper sauce will burn out your eyes.
Carolina Reaper sauce will burn out any. If you don't want to watch bad football, Carolina Reaper in your eyes, and you're good.
Last thing on Adam Gase.
That should
He's
be a gift
currently
right there.
leading the odds to be the first coach fired at
I don't
plus
even think so.
300.
No, he's making
Followed
the
next
season.
by Matt Patricia at plus 350.
I don't
and Dan
think
Quinn at
Patricia's
plus
going to get
600.
fired this
I don't
year.
think Gase will get fired either because Gase is very good at convincing owners that he's the right guy.
Yeah.
In fact, the only reason he got
But
fired
really
from
bad
Miami,
at convincing players he's the
Yeah.
right guy.
well, that's it because he does nothing for players. All he does is suck up to
Because
owners.
imagine Adam Gase going to a meeting with Gettleman, okay? So he'll go into a meeting with Gettleman, show him all like these advanced analytics that he likes to use, and Gettleman will be like, "This guy must know something." So I'm
yeah,
gonna hire
because
him.
he knows how to use a computer.
Yeah,
I don't.
he's the new owner. I'm out.
I got one last NFL revelation. If you have any, Terry, you can add them after. One last one that I realized is I now know how Drew Lock will end his career. He's going to be paying off the end of his contract by working in one of John Elway's car dealerships because that is not an NFL quarterback.
Oh, I think Drew Lock is a very good quarterback.
Oh, you're completely wrong.
I think he had.
They did a lot to make him look very good.
Yeah.
But now that there's tape on, these are the three things this offense can do. He is so fun.
So I agree with that. Is that the offense might be a little shaky, but I do think that Drew Lock is an NFL quarterback.
I
and
think
will
he's gonna be
for
a
a
better-
long
You also
time.
have to remember that Titans left
I-
10 points off the board from bad
Yeah.
kicks, right?
Yeah,
Like
true.
this game was out of hand a long time ago, if not for the bad field goals.
I'm not saying the Broncos are a good team.
That
I don't
made
think
it
I
less
don't-
watchable.
Drew Lock isn't going to be winning the division anytime soon, but I do think he is a very good quarterback.
I don't.
That just needs to have a few weapons with him, maybe a better offensive line, and he'll be fine.
I think he's going to be a better car salesman than quarterback.
He's going to be a guy who gets you like 20 TDs max a year.
He's going to get the guy who gets you in
Yeah,
a slightly used Cadillac.
So
a slightly used
they,
Cadillac.
the Broncos play the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. They're not winning any of those games. They're 0-6 divisional.
I think
100%.
that I don't think that Broncos defense is able to beat the Chargers. I think
There's
that Broncos
no way.
defense
There's
is
no
able to beat the Raiders. I think that Broncos
You have to
defense.
The
score
Broncos
points to
defense is
win
not-
games.
So
You have to score points to win games.
I understand this,
and
but
also the
defense is also
the
win
Broncos defense
championships.
is not very good. They let Tannehill march upfield constantly.
Well, the thing about
Corey Davis, who I thought was retired, got like 8 passes.
But we have to understand that week 1 is a combined preseason, right? We've seen preseasons do nothing for teams. It doesn't make sense. But we've also seen it do great things for teams. So week 1 to me is preseason. The season's 15 games.
Any other NFL observations for you?
Well, I mean, Saquon, we didn't mention it. Saquon Barkley getting 6 yards to me is
Jumping
fucking,
over 2 guys, jumping
Yeah.
over a guy,
is fucking
2 different
nuts.
people on the same run.
Is fucking nuts to me. But I love the way that everybody just got in there, man. And the Arizona Cardinals, man, holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm
Holy
excited for
shit, did they look good. But again, week 1. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray looks good. I love the way he throws the ball.
Yeah,
I love the way Kyler Murray throws the ball.
absolutely.
And he looks so small out there.
The
He looks like Eagle.
the Clippers have joined your Milwaukee Bucks, Terry,
And Pacers.
and the Pacers. Playoff P.
They've joined my Giannis and my Pacers.
Playoff P has returned. By that we mean, of course, Paul George, who sucks in the playoffs.
Playoff P?
And there was this reaction by Stephen A. Smith of ESPN.
You don't actually have the clip here. You just sent me the Twitter search for the clip.
No, make it work, producer. Make it work.
What clip are you talking about?
I'll just tell you what he said. He said that also you can prepare these ahead of time. So he said Paul George is in risk of becoming the next Dwight Howard.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, does he know that Paul George is a lying piece of garbage? Because we do know that about Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Several teammates have said it. So, I mean, allegedly. Because once you say allegedly, you can say anything you want, right, Terry? So
allegedly,
Dwight Howard's a lying piece of crap.
Allegedly, Odell Beckham asked the girl to shit on his chest.
Allegedly, I took a shit in my toilet bowl.
Why would you allege that?
Well, because it's alleged. You don't know if I went to the bathroom or not.
Yeah, it's true.
It's my private business.
Why are you assuming where I shit?
Seriously.
Don't assume my
Seriously.
shitting status.
So that was his reaction.
So to me, with Paul George's playoff P is probably the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life for a guy who sucks in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you are a Pacers fan, right?
Yeah,
so
he had one good year in the playoffs with the Pacers when he was like 25, and that was pretty.
And the biggest shot was not made by him.
It was
made by Miles Leonard, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't it Danny Granger?
Or Danny Granger. Yeah, that's true.
Danny Granger.
That was the last time we saw Danny Granger.
Screw you, Mo. Who's your basketball team? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've been relevant this decade.
Yeah, they've been relevant since they had the best player of all time, supposedly. Since allegedly they had the best player of all time.
Typically speaking to people off the mic doesn't work in podcasts. So Terry,
okay, Mo Khan is here telling me that
Mo Khan will be joining us for Rapid Fire, ladies and gentlemen.
With some
Next
hot
segment.
takes, hot spicy takes that are clearly wrong.
We will unfire him for about 15 minutes and we will refire him again after.
So what your thoughts are that he's essentially going to become a journeyman, like a very talented journeyman, a guy who's more likely to be
like Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony, I think it was a better comparison. I was just going to get there to.
I don't think playoff P is ever going to win a B. I don't think he'll ever be championship P.
I mean, depends. Like, will he join the Lakers next season? Also in LA.
Also a possibility. But for the Nuggets to beat the Clippers, I'm so fucking happy because I love Jamal Murray, I love Jokic, and I can't.
They won
stand
6 elimination games. They were down 3-1, and then they were down 3-1 again.
I
That's
can't
crazy.
stand the princesses of Kawhi and Paul George that everything had to go their way.
I don't think Kawhi is much of a princess.
Oh, I think he became a princess
He
when he went to that
sucked
team.
though in the last couple games.
Brutal.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna jump off everybody else's thing. He's still top 3 player in the league. I don't give
Absolutely.
a fuck what anybody says.
He didn't get less talented.
Yeah, just because he sucked in one game,
Yeah.
which was a very big game, doesn't mean that he's
So-
not as good as everybody. In the series, there you
Yeah,
go.
he averaged 5 points before. Because again, so if Mo says something off mic,
Yeah, we gotta
you need
repeat
to
it.
repeat it because
Yeah.
we're the only ones that hear it.
So he averaged 5 points in the fourth quarter all series, which is absolutely nuts to me. Which is more of a kudos to the Nuggets coaching system.
We found a new segment, by the way, Teaching Terry podcast.
Yeah, teaching Kerry broadcasting.
So Lakers in
Did
4.
you call yourself
It's funny
Terry?
because Perry teaching
Terry.
teaching Terry broadcasting. It's funny because Mo and I went to the same broadcasting school.
You got your own name wrong twice.
Perry Barry.
Lakers in 4.
No, I'm going Nuggets 7.
No, they won't win that.
I'm going Nuggets 7.
The thing is,
I'm actually putting money on the Nuggets 7.
so Kawhi and Paul George is cute, but it's not Anthony Davis and LeBron.
I'm going Nuggets. I
Alright.
from what I've seen, I don't
Hot
think
sauce bet.
hot sauce bet, my friend. Carolina Reaper. No, this is the original.
So I wouldn't.
Original.
I'll tell you what. I won't even give you how many games.
7.
You could even take them in 9.
Okay,
I don't
I'll
care.
take them in 9. Take them
I'll
in
even give you 2 games next season.
They'll win 6-3.
All right. I don't think so. I think it's
Doesn't make sense.
I think it's max going to be a 5 game. It's going to be max 5 games. Maybe 6 if there's one really off game. But I think
Okay,
we're going to see a Lakers.
okay, hot
sweep.
sauce bet. I got Nuggets. You got Lakers.
I got Lakers exactly.
Can't wait.
Nick Wright had the following to say on Doc Rivers.
Nope, that's President Trump.
Nope.
Not somebody that knows anything about basketball.
Doc Rivers, the first coach
Awful
to
to
ever
pick, right? Awful
blow
to pick.
3 3-1 leads, and in fact, he's blown a 3-1 lead in every decade. Hey, you want the second Bush administration blowing 3-1 lead? No problem. The Obama administration blowing a 3-1 lead? Doc Rivers your guy. How about the Trump administration? Doc Rivers still your guy. Doesn't matter who's in office. Doesn't matter what year it is. You need a 3-1 lead blown. You know who to call. So
That's like the ultimate chirp. I love it. So Nick Wright's that guy, right? I like Nick Wright to a certain extent, but he gets a little obnoxious once in a while. But yeah, he's right about that. I mean, maybe Doc Rivers the problem, and not necessarily Kawhi and playoff P,
Well, I mean,
non-playoff P,
look. The thing is
bench P.
Doc Rivers sort of one of those great schematic coaches in a way that we talk about Alex Spoelstra, we talked about last week, or we talk about Greg Popovich, or is he a guy who just connects well with players? I think he's more that kind of player.
I think he connects well with
like
players.
Phil Jackson was that kind of coach, right?
I think players respect him. I think they play for him. I just don't think that he's able to put any product on the field now. I think the game might have outgrown him a little bit. His last championship, his only championship, was with the Celtics, right? 2011.
Well, and again, I am
so.
in the minority, but I personally view those Celtics as a failure.
Why?
Because they were by far the best team in basketball.
Oh, they were stacked. It was like the first super team.
Well, no, there's never been non-super teams in the NBA.
No,
look at.
Well, I mean, this
there
first team.
There was a Celtics team that had Bill Walton on the bench.
It's the first time. It's the first time where you see like free agents go specifically to a place to win.
Well, Dennis Rodman joined Michael Jordan's.
No, like Pippen. A bunch of players. That was one player that joined guys that beat them 100 times.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess
it is what it is.
It's a stretch. It's a stretch. So Heat are up 1-0. They've lost one game in the entire playoffs so far for a team that many thought would be a second round exit.
They're gonna win that series.
Hotel dribbling, difference maker.
Difference maker. It's true. You got to bounce the ball in the hotel room like Jimmy Buckets. I think the Heat are gonna win, man. I just don't see the Celtics coming out, and I've never been into the Celtics. I think they almost blew it against the Raptors, and I don't know. I was never a believer in the Celtics. The East was a fucking crapshoot from the beginning. We knew it.
The Raptors kind of feel like they're built similarly to the Heat as well. So if the Raptors give them a hard time, I think the Heat will give them a hard time. But that's not where I want to go with this, Terry. I want to know more hateable fans, the Heat fans or the Celtics fans?
Oh, I think anything Boston related is
I don't know.
awful.
Heat are pretty bad too.
Because
ever since LeBron, it's all been downhill.
But
just
that's only
those not even LeBron. The decision made everyone hate the Heat.
But
right?
those are the only fans that exist, are the guys that became fans at that moment. But the other thing was
that's not true. They had a lot of fans during the Alonzo Mourning era.
Oh, I guess yeah.
But they got a lot more fans
because of
worldwide.
Because of
after
but
that,
the Celtics, the thing about the Celtics is that they hold on to that one championship of 12 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's
they
the
still
part
talk
that's
about that team as if they were better than
Paul Pierce, bro. Well, fuck
LeBron,
you, Paul Pierce.
Didn't Paul Pierce say last week that he could score 50 in today's game?
No, Paul Pierce is a fucking idiot.
I mean,
Paul
does he
Pierce
know that other players also got better?
Paul Pierce is a dumbo.
Yeah, he started to irritate me as well.
I think he has CTE, and it's not even a contact sport.
Well, you still hit the hardwood now and again.
I guess.
We have an interesting guest coming up right after this. We're going to talk to Mike Familant. He's the producer and lead investigator of In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, Sussex County. He is a dude who hunts Bigfoot. I'm super, super excited for it. We'll talk to him when we come back next.
This show is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub, home of the best rubs in town, and La Sauce barbecue sauce. Peas.
Just like Robert Kraft, I can't resist a good rub down, and Mike's barbecue sauce is the best rub down in town.
So visit Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, and use Hot Sauce 10 promo code for 10% off on all individual bottles. That's Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off. And don't forget to rub your meat peas.
Welcome, everyone. We clearly did a first segment, and that's why I'm welcoming everyone back. We are actually joined by a guest. I've been looking forward to this interview more than any interview we've done. I know we have like some credible sports journalists and we have some athletes that come on the show.
Yeah.
But largely they all sound the same. So I would say that this is a show about sports, but more than anything else, I want to take the opportunity, because we run our own company, I want to take the opportunity to talk to interesting people about cool things. And we have one such person this week. Mike Familant joins us. He is the producer and lead investigator of In the Shadow of Big Red Eye of Sussex County. Basically, if we boil it down, and you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, you're looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the gist of it, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to start it off where just get a bit of your background. What led you to first start looking for Bigfoot, and how has that evolved into becoming such a big passion project for you?
Cool. Since this is like a relatively short show, I'll go kind of quick because I know we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So basically, first time ever camping like in my entire life in North Florida. We were camping with a group of people and who were actually out looking for Bigfoot, and we ended up getting rocks thrown at us, and we heard tree knocks. And this was like 4:00 in the morning on the last night. Everybody's asleep, and I didn't think too much of it. I was scared, obviously, my first time like in the woods at night, and my buddy threw one of the rocks back in the direction that these rocks were coming from, and I knew right then and there it wasn't a person, because like a boulder like yay big. I know it looks like a fish when I hold up my hands. It's like, yeah, that's how big it is. That's what I like to do with my pictures.
Also, why the same reason you hold the camera really close when you're sending a dick pic.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course you have to.
Angles. All about angles.
All about angles.
100%. But a boulder, probably the size of okay. These are really good store-bought cookies. About this size came and landed. All the rocks landed within 5 to 10 feet. This guy landed about 10 feet from us, and you could hear him crashing through the trees and stuff. So then everything stopped. We did some brief estimates about like where this could have came from and stuff like that. And the closest possible location, because we try to do all that scientific shit and whatever, was like 100 to 150 yards away. So
this guy threw a boulder 100 yards away.
Yeah. I can't throw a baseball accurately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you're thinking like, all these rocks and this boulder came from at least 100 yards away, and it's like, oh man, like that's something. So then I started, I went home and I started researching like reports in Florida. We went out camping some more times. Saw a pair of blue and red reflecting eyes in Central Florida.
Okay.
It was really crazy. Moved back home to Jersey and found out that Sussex County was like really like a hot spot for Bigfoot.
Okay.
And the name up here, everywhere has like a different name. In Florida, it's the skunk ape. Ohio, the grassman. And up here in northern Jersey, it's big red eye. So it's I started investigating. I contacted all these witnesses. I made some connections, and it finally turned into the point where I was tired of watching all these like fake shows on TV, I'm not going to say names, but all the shows are designed for ratings and stuff like that. And I get it. It is what it is. But I wanted to make a show that shows what like a Bigfoot expedition truly is. So people could connect with that and whatever. So that's when I started In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. And people seem to love it. We're actually filming our fifth season right now. And it's just been incredible. Not only do we just look for Bigfoot, but we do stuff that other shows don't show. Like you'll see us like driving around in the car making fun of each other. You'll see us going to these.
It's like a regular reality show.
It is
with the premise of finding the Grassman, Bigfoot, skunk.
Without the terrible TV production trying to make the ratings go up.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like it's actual scientific work with some fun.
Yeah. And I film, edit, produce, plan everything. Everything is done by me. So it's not like I have anybody that I have to get approval from or do whatever. Which is awesome because, not that I'm going to edit the show in any certain way, but, if like I like to go and I like to film ourselves going into these like kind of local towns, and hopefully if our viewers are to, get out there and into the woods and want to look where we look for Bigfoot, they'll go to these small towns. It promotes local business, which everybody, people are hurting right now. And, we also, our kind of like goal of the show, obviously, it's really not to find Bigfoot. That's what we film, but the show's goal is just to get friends and families off the couch and into the woods and explore nature.
That's awesome, man. Honestly, yeah. I've always been fascinated by the idea. I mean, the idea for me, like when I heard about Bigfoot the first time, I'm like, impossible, this guy exists. Loch Ness Monster, all that stuff. But now that growing older, you start hearing about all these new creatures that come out of the sea, and it's not crazy to me that there's this one thing that people might have seen once in a while that shows up and throws a boulder at your face.
Yeah, well, you just never went looking because it would interfere with your gambling.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
but otherwise,
But also, I want to ask you.
Interest.
I want to ask you. Because everything I've seen, he's very prominent in the Pacific Northwest. Is that possible?
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's the Canadian Sasquatch is what the other name is.
okay, there you go.
As,
Yeah. So how
Sasquatch,
tall is this guy? Like, how tall is a Bigfoot? And I'm thinking it's one guy, like around the country. He's walking on the highway. How tall is Bigfoot averaged? What? Give me like approximation. What would I expect to see in the size?
Like
of
if you were sort of building a profile the same way like when police are looking for someone, like what's the profile for Big Red Eye?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So the average height we're looking for is 7.5 to 8 feet tall would be an adult male. Females are a little bit shorter from what reports say. And I'm no expert on this topic, just to let you guys know and everybody listening know. This is just from my research and what I've read and what I've seen again and again in reports. So the average Bigfoot 7.5 to 8 feet tall. In Canada, they're a little bit taller, closer to 10 feet. Down in Florida, they're a little bit shorter, an average of 6 feet, 6 to 7 feet. Which is really cool. Just to sidetrack real quick is in Florida, a lot of the animals are smaller, and it's called Bergman's rule. It's because they don't need to hibernate. So in New Jersey, the black bears are huge, have to eat a whole lot of food. Down in Florida, the black bears, you have a big black bear at 200 pounds. Up here, you could easily see a 500-pound black bear and not really bat an eye at it. So that's super interesting, and that kind of leads me to believe that the reports kind of make sense,
So with that impressive height, I sort of two-part question. First part's about the height specifically. So given that impressive height, how long do you think it could take us to get one to learn how to shoot three-pointers and defend the perimeter?
Yeah.
Well,
That's the first thing, or at least block of.
Hawaii can use that. Like Hawaii and Giannis can use that.
Yeah, or at least block like a really fast defensive end.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try a thing. The SBA, Sasquatch Basketball Association.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
That
Start
would be.
Listen, there isn't one yet.
You want to talk about reality TV right there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm
Sasquatch
going to
Basketball
trademark
Association.
and copyright that right now. So you guys,
because we'll jump right on.
And you got two broadcasters right here to do the games.
Yeah, we got. Then we'll have a New Jersey team and we'll have a Montreal team, and they'll just play against each other all the time.
Hey, that's how basketball started. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
So,
good.
okay,
So and another question, just the.
I know.
Sorry. Yeah. Two questions.
I gotta get him in, Terry.
It better not be my fucking question. Okay.
So the question and it's something I've actually heard about people questioning sort of the existence of Sasquatch or Bigfoot, so on and so forth, is why is it that we don't find hair? We don't find sort of anything that
footprints
and things of that nature, teeth, fingernails,
carcasses,
carcasses.
Like basically, why is there no trace? But why is it just people? Like how many? Like, there's been a lot of sightings, I guess, and thousands of sightings. So why are we seeing sightings but not any trace of the Bigfoot?
Makes sense, and I'll make this super quick. One, you said hair. I have a hair in my bedroom, which I can't go get right now, unfortunately. It's from Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Okay, so
it was
you
sent
have
to me-
found hair. Okay, cool.
Well, I haven't found it. It was sent to me by a friend,
Mhm.
but my friend got a wad of it, and this is just a single hair that I have, but she sent it off to the DNA lab to get tested, just like every researcher should do, and it came back as unknown primate.
Unknown.
So that's some evidence right there. Then you bring up footprints. I found footprints. There's if you're if anybody wants to research footprints and how they're not human or not bear or any known animal.
What do they look like? Eagle, pull it up.
Go.
Put
What's
it on the
that?
screen when you
We're
can.
gonna pull up some footprints. I'm curious to see what they look like.
Yeah. If you and I'll if I could see them, I'll kind of explain why they're not human.
I don't think you'll be able to see them.
Oh, okay.
No, you won't be able to see 'em. So yeah, so we're looking. I mean, I don't know which one we're gonna be. Okay, yeah. So click on the one next to the guy with the sandal there. So it looks like a human
I just
foot.
googled Bigfoot footprint, so it's like the 8th one on the list.
Yeah,
This is from Trinity River, San Francisco Gate.
SFK. Yeah.
SF Gate, yeah.
Well, yeah, and you guys looking at it, you probably realize like, if you guys have walked on the beach, I'm sure, and
Yeah.
you know the kind of like outline of the footprint because we have that arch.
Yeah.
It's not like a flat foot. If you're looking at, I don't know what picture you're looking at, but if it has like a really flat foot, like just like a perfect outline of like what you would trace around your foot, if it wasn't like, in the sand or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the toes too, the toes say a lot about the foot. If humans wear sandal or wear socks and shoes our entire lives,
Yeah.
so our toes are like this. Bigfoot's toes are spread out
Yeah.
because he doesn't wear shoes or socks.
Yeah. It's
So
the grip.
that's and that's kind of like a weird thing. There's also no mid tarsal break, no. There's a whole science behind it, and if you want to learn more, you can look up Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum out of Idaho State University, and he's like the guy to.
So you know what they say: big feet, big piece. Now I'm questioning how big is this guy's piece?
Legit, my next
I mean,
question.
he's 10 feet tall. You got a whopper.
That was
Yeah.
my next question, Jerry. That's crazy.
Yeah, this thing must be flopping around. Any traces of that taking around there, Mike?
When it runs you, when
Mike's like,
Bigfoot
I haven't
runs-
really looked for that one.
When there's a male Bigfoot and it's running, do you hear it slapping against the thighs?
Yeah, exactly. Is he a knee slapper? Is he a calf slapper?
Calf
Well,
slapper, jeez.
I will say I think there is you can distinctly tell the difference if you have a decent sighting between a male and a female, mostly because of like the breasts and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I have taken a report of down in West Virginia where he said it was definitely a male. And I don't think they do the slappy slap thigh thing because the hair
It's a shame.
would prevent that.
Oh, it's
That's
true.
Also prevent
That's why they grow the
chafing.
hair.
Ah, yes.
Evolution.
Yeah.
To avoid slapping.
Yeah, I don't know if they trim the hedges or not, but
So, you don't know if they manscape.
Well,
if they
hey, I was
Sasquatch
going to
scape.
say, maybe this
Yeah.
is the way we get Manscaped as a sponsor.
Maybe you don't know if they grass manscape. If they
Grass
manscape their grass.
Or they built like a rock tool or something and just.
Yeah. They somehow forged scissors out.
Maybe
of two
they
rocks.
go to
I
hair
don't know.
cutter, man.
I don't know if that would be top on their list to do, to be honest. I don't know.
So
I
how
mean-
many roughly? I mean, obviously there's people who are looking for them, so we don't really know how many exactly there are. But how many roughly is there in the continental North America? I guess.
Within the research that I've done, and I've done most of my research in New Jersey. I think in New Jersey there's 2 family groups of 4 to 6 individuals.
Okay, so they're not. It's not like a tribe of like hundreds of thousands. There's probably like 1,000 across the country.
I think through the U.S. and Canada, I would say there. Well, U.S. It's hard to tell Canada because it's so vast.
Yeah. And we're not
in
very
the U-
mountainous in certain areas, so it's
Oh, it's desolate. There's
Very
nobody.
open.
You can go walk and I mean.
like
but
there's three provinces in a row that's basically just flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Alberta. There's just nothing there.
and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Fun fact I'll tell you in a second. I think in the United States there's about 2,000 Bigfoot.
Okay. That's crazy. Which it makes sense why. Like, if you tell me there's 2,000 of that kind of bottle of water,
Swell cup.
a swell bottle, 2,000 of
It
those.
might be just in this color.
How rare would it be that you see them?
I mean, there's one right here. So.
I mean, that was the only one. It's like the episode of Office when he's like, "How many of you are affected by somebody with rabies?" And they all pick up their hand because it's all the same person.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that though is like you need 2 things for a Bigfoot sighting. You need a Bigfoot and then you need a person. So I think there's a lot of places that desolate, like up in Canada. When we were filming in Maine, I accidentally ended up in Canada, and then the Border Patrol agent wouldn't let us back through.
It's
Go
Trump's
figure
fault.
that one.
It's Trump's
Huh?
fault. It's Trump's fault. Blame Trump. It's easy.
COVID.
Well, he was actually just playing a joke on us, so it was actually kind of funny in the end. I wish we
don't blame
filmed
Trump.
it, but yeah, but you know, where there's no people, just like Alaska, there's not many sightings in Alaska or Montana because there's no people in Alaska or Montana.
You
Yeah.
need people
I
to
think
see
that's-
them for there to be sighting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not reported.
But back to my point of go back to my point of the Pacific Northwest is that it's so dense out there too with all the forests and stuff. It's very possible that there's something out there you've never seen.
Yeah.
So Mike, how often do you actually go looking for big red here? Is it something you do on like a weekly basis, monthly, quarterly? Like, what's that look like?
I'm gonna start calling it that, Big Red. I've never heard that before. I like that actually. Hey,
It's
wanna
both
go out
Bigfoot
for-
and a chewing gum.
Well, it's also maybe his piece is red.
Also possible.
Maybe that's why we call him Big Red.
Yeah.
I just call him Mr. Roundtree.
Mr. Roundtree's a good one. I like it too. It's a good name. He's got plenty of names. This guy.
But anyways, we tried it. This year has been really difficult because of the whole COVID thing. So we haven't gotten out. We actually had a really good year planned. We haven't gotten out as much as we wanted to. Generally speaking, we try to get out as a team about once a month.
Oh, once a
From,
month. Okay, so it's a lot.
So March to November, we'll try to get out once a month, go different places.
And you have an event coming, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, we do actually. It's going to be our last one of this year anyway. We have one coming up in Northeast Pennsylvania. The closest I could say is about 20 miles outside of Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
Yeah, right by Scranton.
London Mifflin.
And it's cool because it's a public expedition. So anybody listening, including you guys, can come to this thing. And what we're going to do is it's 3 nights of Bigfooting, 4 days of looking at talking to witnesses, scouting locations, doing all this awesome stuff. And we're going to just go Bigfooting and do what we normally do, except bring people out there that maybe have never had the chance or are worried to do them, themselves. But I think it's awesome that we're able to do this. It's $150 for 3 nights of camping, which I know people complain about the price, and it seems like a lot.
That's a good price for camping, right?
The price for camping without an expedition.
Yeah, so at least you're doing something else. Like that's what I find too. I mean, I've never been camping, but I'm like, what do you do with your days? I mean, that's a good idea to do with your days.
Drink heavily, largely.
Drink heavily and just go look for Bigfoot.
But so
Big Red.
we're actually running super short on time because we're super interested and we've loved the conversation, so we hate to cut it short. But I will say I want to do something that we do sort of to end our show. We call it rapid fire. So we're all gonna have a question for you. You gotta answer like super quick, like
No thinking.
10 seconds or less. So the first one is gonna be a tough one, but why as cameras have improved on phones and such, have the quality of photos for Bigfoot not gotten better, or have they?
Simple. Take out your phone, take a picture in 3 seconds. That's the average time that a Bigfoot
I already
sighting
couldn't
lasts.
do it. I'm so bad at technology, I already couldn't do it. All right, that's a good answer, though. I like that. Yeah. Terry, do you got one yet?
The Eagles got one.
Eagles got one.
If you find Bigfoot, what are you gonna do?
Dead or alive?
Yes, either one.
Alive. I don't know if I'm gonna piss first or shit first. Probably both at the same time. Scream like a girl, run away, and then I don't know what the future holds after that. If I find a dead one, well, I'm gonna cut off every chunk of body that I possibly can, and send them to places, but definitely keep a stash for myself because I don't necessarily think that some of these places want to get the whole Bigfoot name out there.
How sure are you that he exists?
70%.
70%?
Yep,
That's a
I
good
think
number.
I
That's pretty
almost.
good.
That's
I'd
a
take
good
those
number.
odds.
If you were saying 100%, I wouldn't believe you. But
I-
70 solid. I like it.
yeah.
I think I might have saw one down in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey,
Okay.
but and I took pictures, but it's just so blurry and not clear. I'm never gonna release them.
Yeah, you also don't want to discredit, right? You want to make sure everything you put out is very like it's
Oh,
clean,
yeah.
it's clear. Yeah, exactly.
100%. I would never put that in an episode because it's just. I mean, it's.
You
just
discredit
another-
yourself at that point, right? You don't want, like, there's that one picture of Bigfoot, like even Eagle pulled it up on our Google search. It's like it's the same picture we've seen for the last 40 years of Bigfoot.
Exactly.
It's just like a guy. It looks like a guy in a suit just walking through. His head staying at the same height, so it's all these things, and it's like, hey,
Well, it's interesting. You're talking about the Patterson Gimlin film, and I'll make
exactly,
it short. What's really interesting is I have third generation tracks for sale. If anybody's interested, we also have T-shirts, beanies, all that good stuff for sale. Head over to In the Shadow of Big Red Eyes Facebook page. And what's interesting about the Patterson Gimlin film is that I think it's real. It has a tumor on its leg. If you look real close, it's got a tumor kind of on its leg.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because that was the first thing I noticed too when I saw that video. I was like, what's on his leg? It looked like he's wearing something on his knee.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Well, that was Mike Familant. Mike, thank you for joining us. He is the producer and lead investigator of In the Shadow of Big Red Eye, Sussex County. I've always had trouble with that word.
Sussex.
Sussex.
I want to thank you for coming on, Mike. It's really, really cool of you. And obviously, as you get closer and closer, we want to hear your updates. Thank you. We already consider you friend of the show, and we love stepping outside the boundaries of sports. And it's interviews like this that remind us why. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining us.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, listeners. And you guys are welcome to come out whenever you want.
Oh man, you know what? I think it might be a hot sauce
As
excursion.
soon as we can leave Canada.
When the borders open, I think
Come on over.
I think we might.
Yeah, I won't camp though. I'll be in a hotel, but I'll join you guys during the day.
Thank you, Mike.
See you, Mike.
Hey, take care, guys.
This show is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub, home of the best rubs in town, and La Sal's barbecue sauce, bees.
Absolutely. They will get you satisfied in 12 seconds or less, just like Rick Pitino at that restaurant.
So visit Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, and use Hot Sauce 10 promo code for 10% off on all individual bottles. That's Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off. And Peas, don't forget to rub your meat.
And we're back. That was a great interview with Mike Familant that we just had. We recorded the show in sequence. I promise. I am also a liar. I am weird. We come back now. Of course, there's myself. There is Terry Tam. There is Eagle at Master Control. I think I even forgot to do that at the top of the show. But
Oh, yeah, we didn't do any
we
intros.
But we're joined, of course, by a special guest of TSN 690 fame and
Chief health operator.
for FPF as well.
I don't think his mic is on.
Yes, it is. Go.
Health and Relations
There you
Coordinator,
go.
HRC.
He also is OG Hot Sauce.
Yes, OG
one of the
Hot
founding
Sauce.
fathers. So
Yes.
definitely excited.
We fired him. He is unfired right now.
Yeah, temporarily on fire.
Bigfoot.
Temporarily
We
on
found
fire.
Bigfoot over here.
And then,
Remember he got lost in the jungle? We
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
find him. Bigfoot had him.
Mike Familant brought him back. Mike Familant brought him back.
I mean,
Bigfoot.
you're like 6 to 8 feet tall, right? And you have big feet.
Yeah, I'm not like the swamp monster though.
But does your slung hit you on the
13s.
side of your thighs?
Are you a thigh slapper or a knee slapper?
What do you mean? Oh. I won't tell you that.
All right. You got to buy Mokan dinner first if you're going to find that out.
I'm like this bottle. Mo.
So let's get to Rapid Fire, brought to you by Mike's Barbecue Rub, Chetty's, and anybody else who gives us money. Eagle, Rapid Fire.
Rapid fire. 1 is the loneliest number. Patrick Reed hits a hell of a shot at the U.S. Open. We have a clip.
Ahead 1 at the 7th. Patrick Reed on the tee of this par 3.
I can do this.
Coming off a double bogey at the 5th and a birdie at the
I can do this.
6th.
No, you did twice.
Watch this.
Yeah, he hit another shot. That was pretty
One
close.
hopper.
So Patrick
One
Reed is like,
bouncing
I think he's
in,
second
hole
place
in
now
one
going
at the
to the next day. I don't know
Qualifying.
I didn't see the rest there, but he's second place in terms of qualifying. Justin Thomas on fire. So that's very hard to do. I have one hole in one. I did it like one of the first times I played golf was at UFO.
You actually had one?
Yeah, I had one.
I hate you
it
so
rolled.
much.
It rolled like 15 yards. It just
Mini-putt?
bounced, hit the tree. No, it wasn't mini putt. It was a par 3.
Oh, mini putt, par 3.
It's kind of like mini putt. I was going to say, Terry, you see Patrick Reed's reaction to that, and I think he's a piece of human garbage because
So Patrick
how
Reed-
do you not celebrate? How do you just like walked off?
So
like, yeah,
Patrick Reed
whatever.
is known to be like the cockiest guy out there.
Yeah.
And also he's a cheater. He touches the sand with his clubs in the bunkers.
jerk.
Yeah, cheater.
Jerk.
Can't do it. He changes nothing. You can't do it.
But he's
I
still
have
cheats.
no idea
Yeah.
what that's all about.
Stealing messages. Alejandro Villanueva of the Pittsburgh Steelers crossed out the team's message on the back of his helmet and replaced it with the name of a fallen soldier. For context, Villanueva is a former I
Well, I
think
think
U.S. Army vet.
Army Ranger.
Exactly.
I think also
He
his-
went to West Point also.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it had
Nothing
a
wrong with that.
very angry reply from Clay Travis, who you also did not link the actual thing to itself.
Who's Clay
I don't
Travis?
know
Is
why.
that the country
Fox
music
Sports.
star?
I'll kick the coverage.
I'll put it out here.
Oh yeah, that guy. Fuck that guy. Oh man.
He said
Oh.
he just wanted to give a shout out to
How do you
his
feel about
boy
Clay?
Alejandro Villanueva because he's covering up the social justice warrior message on the back of his helmet and instead put the name of an Iraq vet who died.
If he put all lives matter on his thing, I'd understand why people are upset. But he just put the name of a fallen soldier, which I don't see a problem with.
No, nobody's actually upset. That's the
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Is
Clay Travis has to
He's
make it a
mocking-
thing
He's mocking the thing. Right?
because Clay Travis is a douchebag, right?
He veers towards a lot of Trumpisms in his analysis in life.
But so
Which I don't mind. But
Well,
he's just a
very-
douchebag in general.
He's very sexist too.
Oh, he is. Okay, there you go.
very sexist.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, with regards to Alejandro Villanueva, like the guy did something. He put a name on the back of his helmet that meant something to him. The players are putting messages on the back of their helmets that mean something to them. I don't know why you would have a problem with this, Clay Travis. It seems bizarre as a reaction, and in fact, saying using social justice warrior as a means to insult someone as something I always found bizarre. It's like people's causes are either important to you because they reflect your life experience or you want to give voice to it because you feel that's important. Why would that ever be an issue? But apparently, such is an issue for Clay Travis.
Clay Travis is a fuck.
Well punctuated, Terry.
Yeah.
Well punctuated.
Wisdom comes with age. This is actually a follow-up on a story we did a while back regarding Sean Weiss. For those of you who don't remember, Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks movie. He's now over 230 days sober for when he looked
Good
like
for
a
him.
crack addict.
Yeah.
This is the most recent picture of
Fuck, man,
him.
He
It's amazing how that
de-aged like
changes,
50
eh?
pounds. Fuck.
He looked
Holy
like a
shit.
70-year-old man when he was on meth.
But good for
it
him,
was
man.
awful.
Honestly,
Awful.
I'm.
Yeah.
It was.
I think we're all D2 fans, right? So
Yeah,
like Mighty
absolutely.
Ducks
I'm a
fans.
D3
And
fan actually.
you know what?
You're the
you
only
know
one.
what, Mo? D3, very underrated in the trilogy.
It wasn't bad.
It was good. I mean, Varsity, Eden Hall. You know, like
We should do.
Seton Hall. Seton Hall.
Eden Hall.
Eden Hall.
We should do a hot sauce watch party for all the Mighty Ducks movies.
Sure.
Live.
Like District
Yeah.
5. District 5.
We just
episode-
live
yeah.
stream us eating and smoking too much.
Yeah, cool.
I was gonna say,
Are you-
just really quick, Eagle. I remember when it happened. We were like, we wanted to make fun of it so bad, but we just felt so bad for the person who obviously is struggling with addiction. So we basically said like, hey, we hope instead of making the usual jokes that we would make at his expense, we just wanted him to get healthy, and it appears as though that's happened. So hell of a. Hopefully, this is the end to that saga. This is the D3 of the Sean Weiss story.
Are you guys a Julie the Cat or a Connie Moreau?
Oh, Julie Katz.
Julie the Cat? No, man. Connie was sexy. She's the one that was dating Guy Germain.
No, Julie
She played
Katz
forward.
saved
Porque
USA's
no los
butt.
dos.
Julie the Cat.
Yes.
Better player, Julie the Cat for
Saved,
sure.
saved USA's butt at Junior Goodwill games in LA.
Yeah, she's from Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, man.
Thank God. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness they had it.
Bangor, Maine, where before Mike Familant was lost and ended up in Canada.
There we go. Actually, there we go.
Yeah, full circle.
Pay the man his money. Allen Robinson went on a social media wipe, removing all mention of posts that had Bears accounts linked to it. This is all because the team's apparently refusing to extend his contract. There's no trade request as of now, at least from what I've heard. Chicago will maybe do an extension later on, but not right now. But obviously, he's pissed. Thoughts?
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. That's my thoughts on this. Allen Robinson is not going to stay with the Bears. It's obvious. He's not going to. He won't stay. He'll get money somewhere else.
Mo,
You go to Chicago to die if you're a receiver.
I thought you were gonna follow up with the actual news that he has since said he's not asking for a trade.
No, he's not.
He's not going to ask for a
But-
trade. He's going to leave.
But any Bears receiver that goes and plays in Chicago, you just go
Yeah.
to die. For
So
your
he's
Alshon Jeffrey.
frustrated because
Muhammad.
he's
Yeah.
frustrated because a lot of the guys on
You just like him because he has your name.
a lot of the guys on the team have been extended. Guys like Aaron Hicks, guys that the team have obviously put preference on. They're not extending wide receivers. That just doesn't seem to be part of their plans. He's a well-liked player, and he's a guy who's incredibly talented. So I think he's gonna finish off the season, but don't be surprised to see him playing for the Patriots at league minimum somehow next season.
And last one, 31 flavors of disappearance. Carol Baskin has parlayed her fame and infamy from Tiger King into Dancing with the Stars.
I heard
a
it was
clear
awful.
progression for a C-list celebrity.
I've heard it was awful.
However, during the actual show itself, her ex-husband's family ran an ad about his disappearance, basically.
Oh, we
looking
have it?
for
Okay,
him.
because I haven't seen it.
So, and it was literally during the intermission for her dance.
But
so
only
everyone's watching.
in like a certain in Florida, right? Not nationally.
Yeah, exactly.
Don Lewis,
local.
Carol Baskin's millionaire husband, who
This is the whole
was
commercial.
his oldest daughter. We need to know what happened to our father.
I'm Ann, Don's former assistant.
Oh, she was on
All
the
we're
show.
asking is justice for Don.
Don Lewis mysteriously disappeared in 1997. His family deserves answers. They deserve justice. Do you know who did this or if Carol Baskin was involved?
A $100,000 reward has been funded. You can call the tip line at 646-450-6530.
They should have had Joe Exotic's like Pat.
800 litigate. Thank you.
The or if Carol Baskin was involved,
Yeah.
is the best part of the commercial.
I think
That sells the commercial.
I
for
think
me.
Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic should have been on Dancing with the Stars competing against each other.
Well, I mean, Joe Exotic's in prison.
No, isn't he out now?
He's still in there. They're trying to get him out.
Okay, yeah, but he might be getting out.
They're looking to Trump to get the pardon.
Oh, that was a few months ago. Yeah.
Even now,
he said I'll look into it. But he
The
probably
biggest
didn't do
issues
anything.
is crimes against animals are so massive that even if it's not the attempted murder, he's not getting out. But
It doesn't make sense how there's more tigers in
Oklahoma,
in Texas than there is in India.
yeah, absolutely, it makes no sense. That said, guys, like the heartwarming part of this all will be if Carol Baskins gets arrested for very obviously killing her husband, allegedly.
If her new husband,
Allegedly, very obviously killing her husband.
I feel like she's gonna kill her new husband, and then nobody's gonna realize what she did because she's a mad scientist. She's a mad genius.
Yeah, she's just maybe really good at it.
That's the last of the rapid fire. However, last thing, since we have Mo Khan here on another show that we do featuring Mo, we have a chutney challenge. Where this week Mo has brought in us some samosas and some spicy chutney. So Pease and I, Pease and I are gonna have to have this later. But Terry, you get to suffer now. So hopefully, let's describe how this feels. Don't put any hot sauce on it because I think it might be enough, just in case.
Am I doing chutney? I'm not doing. I'm doing any of our hot sauce, of our sponsors here. Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, hot sauce 10% off. Chutney's hotsauce.ca, hot sauce 25 for 25% off.
So I will tell you, we did this last week and Mo lied to us. It was delicious, but not spicy. However, this time around, apparently it's much more. So let's hope for the best here.
Do I get like a scoop? Okay, yeah. Like this is good.
That's good.
Is it a lot?
Let's go ahead.
Is this a lot?
Depends. Live play-by-play. So Terry has taken the samosa. He's eaten it. Pease has called it a samosa and not a mimosa successfully for the second time in the show.
It's coming. I feel it. Not bad. Pretty good.
Nice. All right. Very, very happy with that. Looking forward to trying it on our other show. In the meantime, you've been Terry. You've been Mo. Those have been samosas. You've been Eagle.
You've been Pease.
I've been Pease. Shit. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.
That's
why you
forget
recorded.
yourself?
That's why you recorded, Eagle. You're finally vindicated.
It's actually not bad at all.